We are all in different stages of lockdown and curfew right now, which we know can't last until we wait for medications and vaccinations to take over, which leave us with nothing more but to fight the disease forefront, COVID-19. Welcome back to the channel DoctorMom today as we discuss the prevention and protective measures. To know about the prevention, we need to know how the disease is getting spread, that is the transmission of the disease, which is direct or indirect. Directly, it is spreading through micro and macro respiratory droplets, and indirectly, it is spreading through contaminated surfaces when touched by infected individuals. Thus, taking us to one thing that we can effectively do, which is to protect others and ourselves in the long run. The best protection is no exposure, which means staying indoors, but we all know that is not possible in the long run. But when we have to go outside, let us keep in mind few things to protect others, because we may be an asymptomatic carrier unknowingly spreading the disease in our community. Since it is primarily an airborne kind of disease, that is what is being speculated so far, we need to be focusing upon the breathing protection. That is, wearing mask when you are having flu-like symptoms. That is what the WHO had said initially, but now the recommendations are changing daily. And following hygiene measures like coughing or sneezing onto your elbows and not directly into your hands, or using tissues to cough and directly discard it, not contaminating the surfaces around. Another thing is to maintain adequate social distance, the 2 meter determining our existence. But we know that the virus is carried far beyond 2 meters. While you cough or sneeze, you can expect that the virus to go up to 6 meters. So maintaining a distance of minimum of 2 meters to a maximum of 6 meters is ideal. Next, coming to protecting ourselves, there are 2 things that you need to consider. Firstly are the precautions that you are going to follow while going outside. There is a lot of debate about wearing or not wearing masks. Currently, CDC is advising you to wear masks if you cannot maintain a distance of 6 meters. I would suggest everyone out there to at least wear a scarf or a hanky, anything that could cover your noses. And the thing about wearing masks is that there are a whole lot of safety measures you need to follow, like properly wearing them, proper removal and disposable, not disposing them, not touching the surfaces of the mask. The thing is, you do not want to keep spreading the virus around. Nextly, you need to know is to avoid as much as skin exposure, as we know that our skins can take up the viruses as effectively as the virus can land upon our clothing. So wearing long sleeve clothing, tying up your hair, avoiding any kind of jewelry, watches, simply because you do not want to take the extra attention to disinfect every other thing that steps outside your house and is taken inside your house. Keeping things at a minimum is kindly advisable. Nextly, avoid touching any surfaces when you're outside, or if you have to touch, use tissues and discard them immediately. The point is, you do not want to touch anything and then touch back your face. That is where the hand hygiene comes into play. CDC recommends everybody to wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds, and if that is not available, to use at least an alcohol-based sanitizers. There are certain things that you need to be careful while you're outside, because you'll be more chances of touching these things at public places like the elevator buttons, the doorknobs, the door handles, the staircase banisters, the seats, the armrest, digital devices, the touch screens, and all of these have potential hazard for carrying the viruses. We need to avoid direct contact with such surfaces. As we all know, the infectivity rate or the R0 to be quite high, it is best we avoid gatherings and crowded places, and even elsewhere avoid any kind of physical contact with fellow human beings as well as pet animals, because there are recent studies where pets like cats and zoo animals like tigers are getting exposed to this virus. It is best we maintain distance and proper hygiene with our pets also. Cash and coins have always been a cause of worry during epidemics, and they are effective carriers. Disinfect all your currency notes and be very cautious while using them. While we are back home, there are some safety measures that we should follow. Firstly is to remove our footwear outside, because you do not want to carry the virus inside your homes. Nextly, leaving the items purchased untouched for 72 hours in a separate isolation, because the virus is going to be viable for some period of time after exposure. If it is an item that you cannot, then disinfect it with soap and water before refrigerating them. Things that you have carried with you outside, like your keys, purse or wallets, should be left in a separate place, and please take care to disinfect your mobiles and glasses with alcohol wipes. Once all of this is done, ideally take your shower and wash your own clothing. You do not want to run it in the normal washing cycle, thereby infecting all your other clothing. So please wash it separately. Remember, do not touch anything unless you've showered or had a proper hand wash. Now there are certain precautions that you need to take while you are staying indoors, and that is to frequently disinfect electronics and things that are highly touched upon, like the switchboards, the remote controls, the fridge handles, the door handles, etc. Another thing to keep in mind is of the cleaning supplies. Like your mops and towels, please clean them or wash them with hot water or air dry them, because they are the breeding grounds for the viruses. There is a lot of speculation going about around the climatic and weather condition. Believe me, it is yet to be studied and published officially. But what we know so far, it is that the virus is most viable at a degree of 10 degree. That is the cold weather. So anything above or below might not affect more growth of the virus. And another thing that we know is generally viruses survive well in low humid conditions. So keeping a humidity of 40 to 60 degrees is ideal. And another thing for you to know is the sunshine. The vitamin D. So expose yourself to a minimum of 15 minutes daily to the sun, because you will get the adequate vitamin D for immunity. Of all the things that we know about air spread, it is good to keep the windows open to let the viruses escape naturally rather than lingering inside your homes or the office rooms. And it is also advised right now to switch off your AC, the air conditioners, because you do not know how the airflow is going, the vent varies in and out, so you could be cross-contaminating a lot of rooms through that way. Another last thing that I want to stress upon is the toilet hygiene. The viruses are found in feces even after the patient has fully recovered from the disease. So always flush your toilets only after closing the seat covers, and close the seat covers at night times. Another thing is your toothbrushes. Kindly close the toothbrushes with those toothbrushes pack, or do not let people's toothbrushes to get mingled. Do not keep it in close proximity. They are all probable situations where the virus can spread. We all know that we cannot stop the spread of COVID-19 disease, but we can effectively individually try our level best to protect ourselves and those around us. Another thing that I have mentioned in my previous videos about logging down your contacts, do watch the video to understand, because we cannot last on lockdown forever till we get vaccinations or medicines. So we have to step outside our homes and start meeting people. So that is where I have mentioned about the importance of logging down your contacts or noting down your contacts. Kindly see the video. And here is the list of A to Z activities to protect ourselves and others. Kindly have a look at it and follow these guidelines. So guys, please take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and follow all the measures that the government is releasing time to time. And please take care. Have a good day, guys. Thank you. And for others who are following my videos from a long time, this is a parenting channel that I have included few of coronavirus videos in between to spread general awareness among parents. I would like to tell you that since all of our kids are locked in our homes and they're finding a hard time, I am doing a DIY activity, an activity a day for 21 days on my Instagram account. For those of you who haven't watched it yet, please go there, follow my channel and watch all those activities, and try those activities with your kids and let me know how it went. If you haven't subscribed to the channel Dr. Mom yet, please subscribe and click on the bell notification button. Share this video among your friends whom you think will get benefited out of it. Thank you.